Okay, so the goal is to finish up our notes today and then get you started on the Chapter 7 final exam, and you'll have tomorrow to work on it as well. As we recall, we made a list of perfect squares, which you should have written in your notes. I've seen some people today that did not have this list written in their notes. Now, you may have your old notes, which have it written all over it. That's fine. But if not, you definitely need to have this list. Maybe along with, here, I'm going to copy it down here so I have it again. 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81. Yep, we did. Here, I'm going to advance it up, and I have the same list written down again. Okay. Yesterday, before we left, we put them together. So we did step 1. We multiplied them together. 6 times 12 is 72. X squared times x cubed is x to the 5th. So that was step number 1, checked off the list. Did you leave a pencil in my room, which was sitting right in front of your desk yesterday? Ah, okay. You must go through lots of pencils. Alright, now, what is the largest number in this list of numbers which goes into 72? The biggest one. I know 4 goes into it perfectly, but that's not the biggest one. 9 goes in, but that's still not the biggest one. 16 does not go in evenly. You could try a calculator and just take 72 divided by until you get it done. Something bigger than 4 or 9 goes into 72 evenly. 36 does, that's right. How many times does 36 go into 72? 2 times. Does everybody see how or why we chose 36 and 2? It is the biggest one that goes into 72 that's in this list. And it went in 2 times. Remember, we're putting perfects in the first one and extras in the second one. I have a list of perfect squares for x's written down here. X squared, x to the 4th, x to the 6th, x to the 8th, x to the 10th, x to the 12th. What do you notice about all those exponents? They're all what? They're all even, right? That's because of the index that's sitting right here. What is the index on a square root? It's a 2. We normally don't write it down, but I'll write it down just so you know that it's there. Out of these choices, which one of these is the largest power of x, which goes into x to the 5th? There may be an extra. What's the biggest one of these that goes into x to the 5th? X to the 4th, thank you very much. X to the 4th goes in with 1 extra leftover x. Might I remind you that the index on a square root is a 2, again. The last step would be to simplify. What's the square root of 36? 6. Let's go with Norman. What's the square root of x to the 4th? Remember, if you know the index is a 2, you're just trying to figure out how many times 2 goes into 4. 2 times. So that gives me x squared. Now, the extra part over here, I can't do anything with that. That was the point that we tried to make a long time ago. Okay, now number 11 is a little bit simpler because you don't have to put them together. It's already together. We just need to separate it. So what's the largest perfect square in this list, which goes into 63? The largest number in this list, which goes into 63. Use your calculator. Don't just sit there and wait for somebody else to do your work for you. Laziness is not a virtue. 9. Yep, that's true. How many times does 9 go into 63? 7. Rogers, what's the largest power of x in this list, which goes into x to the 9th? The largest one of these that goes into x to the 9th. Well, I think we can actually go bigger than that. Like on the last one, we had a 5, and the biggest one that went in was a 4 with 1 left over. Ah, yes, x to the 8th with 1x left over. Please simplify this. Show me what it looks like. Square root of 9 is what? 3. Okay. Okay. All right, Bullock, what you got? The 2's on the outside. 2 goes into 8 how many times? That's right. Well, this part you can't do anything with, so you just leave it alone and leave it there with your answer. You just had to simplify the first part. Yeah, it's the only thing you can simplify. You've got the perfect category, just like we had in the last situation. It's the perfect category and the extras. Extras you can't do anything with. We specifically pulled out the perfect parts so that we could simplify those parts. It does. It smells good. Okay, when we did this question before, I had you graph y equals x squared, which is a parabola. Then I also had you graph y equals 64, which is a line, horizontal line. And I asked you how many times does the horizontal line cross the graph of y equals x squared? 2 times. There's obviously one positive answer and one negative answer. It even confirms it in the instructions to the question, find the 2 real solutions of the following equation. So, how do we get rid of a square? We take a square root. Find me the 2 solutions. You can write your answer as positive negative 8, or you can separate them, whichever you prefer. I don't really care. The 8 is obviously on this side, the negative 8 is on the other side. Question 13. Might I remind you the index on a square root is a 2, just in case you forgot. So, much like question 11, do we need to split this up into perfects with extras? Okay. Do we have any extra A's? If you think we have extra A's, that means you think that 2 does not go into 14 evenly. Oh, so you're saying it does go in perfectly? Okay, so there'd be no extra A's? All right, well, what about B's? Do we have any extra B's? Oh, no. So, in other words, this is already perfect and we can go straight to the answer? Several of you already said A to the 7th and B to the 8th. You would be correct. 2 goes into 7 perfectly, and so does 2 go into 16 perfectly. No extras. Any questions about that when you have no extras left over? It's just perfect and we can go straight to simplifying?